Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You well?
Yes, all right.
Good. Can I just check out how the squad's looking? Because you've got not one game, but 3 really tough games coming up there back to back. How is everybody?
Yes, overall, many players in training, but Anton Stach will definitely miss the Man City game due to his following of the concussion protocol. So he'll just be allowed, if everything works in our favor and everything works smooth, to be allowed to return back to team training on Sunday. So for that, he will definitely miss this game. Sadly, Sean Longstaff also will miss the game. He's out with a calf injury. He has suffered this during the last game. Expected to be out, not good news, 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll miss him for a while. Of course, not ideal. Sebastien Bonneau is a doubt. He's got some MCL problems, has missed the training session yesterday and also today. Will be a late call about his availability, and we'll see if he's able to join us in team training tomorrow. We'll make a late call with him. All the others are available.
You go to City, who've had the game in midweek but rested 10 players. That's probably the last thing you wanted, isn't it?
Well, you know, my attitude that normally I like to play this type of teams after Champions League game. This time around it's definitely a bit tricky because yes, we face the most successful side in the last decade in the UK, one of the best sides in the world, definitely the best manager in the world. And then the situation when they have more or less rested their top players and they have a point to prove. That's sometimes tough, and then also in a home game for them. So, but sometimes you can't choose. We take it as is. We wanted to play on the top level. We wanted to play these teams, and for that, we also have to take it like it is, and we'll travel there. Also respectful. There's no doubt. It's one of the biggest challenges that you can have at the moment. But we also won't travel in fear, and we'll try to play our game, be the best Leeds United side that we can be. And if we are capable to do this, and we have a chance also wherever we go.
And the computer's not done you any favours, because next up then it's Chelsea and then it's Liverpool, who admittedly aren't having a good spell of their own either, but 3 really big games against huge opposition. What's the mood amongst the players at the moment?
We're focused, concentrated. We know that, especially in the next 3 games, we won't be the favorite and are more or less always the underdog. And of course, fixture list-wise is of course tough if you play within 7 days. Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, because if you want to have a chance against this type of teams, you need to be there with a top day, with a top physical output, and it will be, of course, exhausting and drying. And for that, also told the lads that definitely during this week we'll also probably expect to rotate a bit more than we would normally do when we just have 1 game per week. So because we always need players who go over the line, also in terms of effort, because in terms of individual quality, we won't win this game. So we have to make sure that our tactical approach is spot on, that we execute it in a perfect way, that we are very effective in our situations, and also that we works our socks off and put a shift in. This is what we have to do to make tight games out of it, if somehow possible, and then if we have our chances also to use it. This will be more or less the approach for all the upcoming 3 games. Yeah, tough week, but we wanted to play on this level. For that, we can't complain, and we are ready for this, and there will be also some other weeks.
And what do you see on the training pitch and in the dressing room that gives you that idea that there is still the belief there is still determination amongst your players that you can get out of trouble, because you've obviously now dropped into the relegation problem?
Yes, but we are really fully concentrated, fully focused, and I'm confident, and I'm also fully convinced. So, to be honest, myself and also the players, we were fully prepared for such a situation, that this would happen, because we also know for which club we are working, and there's always outside noise. Was in the past, was even in the past after our best season in history last season, and we fully expected that this would also happen during this season, because we started into the season, and the goal was we want to finish position 17 or above. But to finish in position 17 would be a great success, because no other team in the last years of the promoted side has had a chance to stay in this league. We want to stay in this league. And I didn't expect it would be an easy ride. You also know about, we had to work a bit with limited resources due to the PSR rules. We had our challenges also in the summer transfer window. And then everyone was aware it would be a nice cruise. We are always around position 9, 10, top half of the table, and a big cushion to the relegation position. So for me, it was always clear that there is also a period where perhaps not all performances, but also especially not all results go into our favor, because this up and downs happens to each and every team during the course of 38 game days. And in terms of results, yes, we had a bit poorer spell right now. It happens to all the teams. Yeah? Sometimes you have a period when you lose a few games in a row. It even happens to even the reigning champion here in England. So for a promoted side who has these challenges that we have, I was always aware that this would happen. And then it's always normal that the outside noise is there, and then pressure is there. And for me, it was clear that we're also sometimes in danger, close to the relegation zone or even in the relegation zone. But I see what the lads are doing. I see how they train, how tight they are together, and what they are doing. And also, when I just judge the objective data, and that gives me lots of confidence that we have enough in order to succeed. And I'm fully confident. I'm fully convinced that we will also go through more tough periods during the season. But I'm fully convinced in the end we'll succeed. And we'll succeed means we finish on position 17 or even higher. And I'm fully confident.
But when you've lost 5 out of 6, that outside noise just gets louder and louder and louder, and a lot of it surrounds yourself, inevitably. How do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? Do you have to block it out? Do you not listen to radio? Do you not read the papers? How do you deal with that outside now?
No, to be mentally prepared for this, I also don't have to hide. So I was aware what happens for such a passionate club from the first day I walked in. Even last season, before the season, there were many doubts and question marks during the season. We played the best season in the history of this club with 100 points and nearly 100 goals and won the title during the season 6-7 times. There were question marks and doubts and fears. Even after we were promoted, speculations, rumors. If you can't handle this, I mentioned several times, don't become manager of Leeds United, and also not a player of Leeds United. So for me, it's more or less like we want to be the side, the first time in 25 years that we establish this club on the top level. And I didn't expect it would be easy. I didn't expect that it would be easy, right? And for me, it's important what the lads are doing. And when I judge our games so far, first thing that gives me confidence, we are in the top 2, by the way, together with our next opponent, with Man City, in terms of physical output. Covered distance, high-speed distance, numbers of sprints. That means we are there with a top fitness level, but also with the mentality and the attitude to bring it on the pitch. So this is what the players are doing. I see how tight they are together in the dressing room, how spirited they are, how united they are. And when I judge our 12 games, I have to say we won 3. We have lost 1 game where the opponent was better in all aspects and we had no chance. That was Arsenal away. We had, by our standards, I would say, 2 a bit poorer games away at Brighton and also at Nottingham, when we had more possession than the opponent, but in all other aspects, the other teams were better and we deserved to lose these games. And all the other 6 games, not just my subjective opinion, just the objective data. We were in all the other 6 games a better side. We had in all the other 6 games more chances, more shots on target, more expected goals, more corners, more wide area free kicks, more big chances. What was missing was more like the clinical edge in both boxes. And of course, if we would have shown more effectiveness, we would be in a way better position, and that would take this all day long. But this is also what happens a bit to a promoted side. It's more like in terms of effectiveness, quite often the teams with more quality, individual quality, are better. They score more goals out of less, and they concede less goals out of more chances for the opponent. This is what happens, but this gives me also confidence. We are top fit, we have a great mentality. We make out of these games, all tight games, many of them, although we didn't win them, we were even the better side. And what we have to add is more or less this effectiveness, this clinical edge, this is what we have to work on with the players, and we have to improve there in this terms over the season. Perhaps also to use January, for example, also to add even a bit more. But this is what you have to do. And if you then start to doubt or to dwell under it, although you perform well, this is more or less when you make sure that you have no chance to stay in this league. So you have to be fully convinced of what you are doing. You have to stay united, committed, do exactly what you do, and improve the little details. For us, it means effectiveness in using the chances, and also like the clinical defending. Although we don't allow much to the opponent, this is what we have to add. And I'm fully convinced and fully confident that we, with this group, can even improve this. I'm also fully convinced that we have then, as a club, perhaps also the opportunity, perhaps even to add a bit in January, and in the end, then 11 out of 12 game days we were over the line. I don't see why, although of course tough periods are coming, why we shouldn't be over the line once the season finished. And I'm fully convinced of this group, because I'm a big believer in you always get what you're willing to invest. And this group always will have my backing, because they invest like no other group in this league. I can guarantee you this. And for that, I'm fully convinced, fully confident, concentrated. Because when the momentum is a bit against you, you have to work concentrated, and also with hard work to turn the momentum and win the momentum back. And this is what we're doing.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Adam?
Daniel, how much do you feel this week will define your career?
My personal career? Not at all. So not at all. I'm just focused and concentrate. I'm not focused on myself. Like I mentioned, outside noise. I quite like that. Then the outside noise is a bit more, perhaps even on the manager and not on the players or whatever. So for me, I'm just fully focused on my team, how to help my team, how to back my team, how to lead my team. They need in this situation also a leader who will stay calm and not thinking about himself or what it means for his own career. And, I just think about this club. I just think about how we can create this, that we stay in this league, and that we make sure that we establish the club really on the mid and the longer term, and also for good back on the top level, because we have missed to do this in the last 25 years. And this is my only concern, and not like in a reflection mode what it could mean for my own career, not at all.
You made a really impassioned plea to sort of lay off Brendan Aaronson in terms of the stick that he's been getting. Is it the time to sort of leave him out the side and protect him?
No. So it's not that we dwell under some pressure or whatever. So it's more like he deals with this in a proper way. If I'm honest, he got the stick more or less the first day since he walked back through the door after he was loaned out. Whenever we are there with the poor performances, or perhaps he has a poorer day, then everyone is on his back. He's used to it. We also speak about it. We also speak about it in the dressing room. Of course, we have sometimes this topic, but listen, we work together, we win together, we lose together. And it's never ever that we finger point on one player or whatever. It will never be that just because whatever the outside poll is a bit like this player should play or should not play, that we as a group and we as a coaching staff dwell under this pressure and make the decision out of this. This doesn't mean that Brendan Aaronson will play from now on every minute. And was also more or less the same in the beginning of the season when he has not played some games, or last season he was also not often playing on the winger position, for example. So it always depends on what we need and each and every game. And for example, in the upcoming week, 3 games against top sides in 7 days, I doubt if he will be 3 times 90 minutes on the pitch. I doubt that any outfield player, at least in the position where you have to cover lots of distance anyhow, will play really 3 times 90 minutes. I think when you have such a week, you have to manage your minutes a little bit, and then also to think about, okay, which player fits to which game and who has a good momentum, and which skills do we need, from the technical point of view. And for that, it's never a guarantee for Brendan, for example, in the starting lineup, but he has all the backing of us as a group, and he doesn't have to worry at all about it.
Daniel, how have you solved the left-hand side problem, which you mentioned last time out?
can't really speak about. I have solved it because we haven't played the game anyhow. So, but it's definitely something what you have to address. I don't like to hide behind facts, and this is a fact. The last 5 goals we've conceded, it always developed over our left side, and this is as good as we are in going forward and offensive wise. And also we don't allow much, but we have always this 1 or 2 situations per halftime when we allow a little bit for the opponent, and on this level is punished. We have to make sure that we return back and don't allow anything. And the answer is always good hard work on the training pitch, good hard work to be more solid, also to speak with the individual players who are involved about this, to show scenes in the meeting room, and then to work on the training pitch, and then also to find a good solution for the next game. And then, of course, it's one of the biggest challenges right now. It won't be easy to close both wings in this upcoming game, but this is our task, and we want to do this not just in the next game, but also in the upcoming home games.
I mean, the crazy thing about this season, there has been some crazy results. You know, Forest at Liverpool, obviously Liverpool last night, Man City lose at Newcastle. They're going on and on. Do you take solace in that? Does that give you any? Does it form part of your motivation, your players?
No, because it doesn't help us in this game that some other teams had crazy good results. We had also top performances against also some really good sides. Like Aston Villa, I would say we're definitely not the worst side. It was the other way around. Also against Newcastle, and I take more or less confidence out of this performances that even against the top sides we can perform. We also know once these top sides have a top day, we also know then it's difficult. Minding perhaps about the Arsenal game. And of course, it's right now a situation when probably the number 1 team of City was rested. Probably they have a point to prove. I expect a very difficult game for us, but for that we still always travel concentrated and also confident, because we know if we show our best possible performance, then of course in such a game you also need a bit of luck and the top goalkeeper and effectiveness. This is what you have to add in order to win points. But we also know that we are capable to do this, and this is what we want to do also on the weekend.
And you're missing 2 really important midfielders. Does that mean that you're going to have to maybe change the way you play this weekend?
Well, it's always an option for us, and I don't like to speak too much about it in public. But if you follow, for example, also our last season, whenever it was necessary, we changed also our base formation, also sometimes several times during the game. I've also done this during this season. I don't like to highlight it too much in my post-match analysis, because this is then always a bit like fishing for compliments and proving what a genius you are as a manager or whatever. I don't believe in this stuff. It's more like, for me, it's more or less like I'm concentrated what we have to do in order to help the team. This is what we do. If needed, then we change also to a more offensive approach with 2 strikers. We've done this sometimes even with 3 strikers on the pitch. Sometimes with the clear number 10, traditional number 10. Sometimes with 2 number 8s. We have also swapped not in the beginning of the starting line, but also during the games to 3-man formation. We are capable of doing all this. But for me, it's also not like the base formation who will win the game. For example, Leverkusen has won against City with a 3-5-2. In the league, all the teams who have beaten Man City so far have played in the 4-man formation. It's not about the base formation. It's more like how you live it and about the principles that you have to bring on the pitch. And in these principles, we want to be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Daniel. Purely from a coach's and a manager's point of view, how enjoyable is a challenge like pitting your wits against Pep Guardiola? And are these the kind of challenges that a manager lives through?
If I'm really honest, it's not really enjoyable at the moment, because there's lots of stick and I'm fully concentrated also like to help my team to make sure that we win the momentum back. Because after a spell, we had 1 or 2 poor performances, but after a spell of poor results, we didn't deserve to lose this game against Villa. I think our performance was in many aspects really, really good. But if you then don't win it, it's so difficult also like to win the momentum back. And of course, then to face the best manager in the world and one of the best teams in the world, is not particularly a situation where you would say, okay, I enjoy this, but overall we are all competitors. And also my playing times are sadly meanwhile long ago, but I still know why I started to play football, because I wanted to be competitive. I wanted to be the better side. And this is what I still have in myself, not like to prove it against the top managers anyhow, because yes, in my career, I've also won once against Pep. I've also had losses against him, I know this, but I've also won once against Pep. I won games against Bayern Munich, for example, in Germany, 1 point in the Allianz Arena. So, of course, it's then a special occasion, but it's not like you enjoy this moment. It's more like you have to be so switched on and so fully focused and concentrated. So after such a game, and again, face the best manager in the world, I'm always dried and tired after a game, because you always have to be switched on. But it's also not a challenge between me and Pep. So I don't believe in a chess game between the coaches. It's still a players' game, and the players on the pitch are decisive. And I don't overrate our role and don't want to be in the spotlight. I want my team to be in the spotlight. If it's negative response, no problem. I take this. I take the pressure away from my team. But in the positive outcome, it's always like the players who win the game and not the manager. And this is how we approach this game as well.
The City squad is full of superstars. The main one, and I'm focusing on him, how do you stop Erling Haaland?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think 14 goals so far this season, if I'm not completely wrong. Of course, we spoke in the meeting room, on the training pitch, worked on it, how to stop him. But it's not just him. It's more like we have to make sure that he doesn't get the passes, the crosses, the through passes, the finishing passes that he then can finish. He's at the moment probably the best striker in the world and the most effective striker, and has unbelievable skills. If we just try to concentrate to take him 1-on-1 out of the game, I would say we have no chance. For that, he's too good. For that, even better sides than us were had no chance in order to do this topic anyhow, just to solve it. We have to make sure that the setup for him, the assists, the finishing passes, the through passes, the crosses, that we try to handle this and make sure that he doesn't get many situations, and then we have a chance. Just to concentrate on him won't be enough.
And just finally, we've spoken about this before. The performances on the whole have been good, and that's got to be a positive, and that's what you, the squad, the fans need to keep hold of in this difficult period that you're in right now.
Yes, there were also 1 or 2 poorer performances, like I mentioned. I don't hide behind this fact, but our currency is always results. I concentrate, of course, on the performances, but the main thing is also you want to reward yourself with results, and for that, my main focus during this season is to win the points that we need in order to stay in this league. And of course, I'm a big believer in you get in the end what you invest. And I'm a big believer, if you perform well, you have a bigger chance to get results and to stay in this league. And for that, yes, we all take confidence out of this, that we can be even the better side in comparison to Newcastle, Tottenham at home, Aston Villa, although we didn't win this game. But we also know that we need to add this efficiency and this clinical edge to it in order to reward ourselves. This is what we have to do, and for that, we are just concentrate on it. At the moment, it's not so much about words to defend something with our performances. It's more like the only thing that matters is performances, yes, and also results, and this is what we're concentrated on. Thank you.
Great.
In the next 3 games, you're going to need to run a lot and win a lot of duels, second balls, all the things that Sean Longstaff does. You have other players who can do that for you, but he's got Premier League experience. So how costly is it to lose that when you don't have a lot of it in your squad generally?
Yes, it's costly, and Anton Stach is the same. Of course, there are 2 key players in a top shape for us during the season, and of course, it's all a bit tricky. But once a player is not available, I don't like to complain too much about it, because I don't want to give any excuses before. If I speak about we have no chance without Anton, without Sean, and how would the players feel if they step in? So right now it's a chance also for some other players, and they got my backing. And if I'm honest, for us as a side who doesn't have, with all love and respect to my players, doesn't have the highest individual quality in this league. It's always a topic for us. We have to run, fight more than other teams in each every game. It's also not just against Man City, but also against other sides, against Newcastle, against Tottenham. We have in all 12 games so far physically outperformed the opponents. And this is what I like. We are top fit and we have the mentality to bring it on the pitch. And this is also something what a Leeds side should define. We are always about hard work. We are perhaps not always perfect and not always tidy anyhow. Sometimes this is a bit scruffy, but this is also the periods in the history. This club was always successful when they had the right mentality. This is what we show. We have to add this little bit of quality. When you speak about quality, you mean efficiency, if I'm really honest. This is what we have to add. And I'm also confident that we can add this even without Sean, even without Anton, perhaps even without Sebastian if he misses the game. So other players will get the chance. I back them and they get my trust, and I'm sure they will deliver good performance.
If a team has less individual quality than everyone else in the division, how much harder is it to create from a patient build-up? And is it too simplistic to say you should just go more direct?
I think we go, meanwhile, much more direct than we would have done, for example, in last season, where it was always in 44 times the topic in the championship to open a compact block anyhow. And when the block is compact, it doesn't make sense just to put a long ball in it because they have such an overload. They will always win first and second balls. It always depends. I think if we just concentrate on putting the ball long and hoping that then Danny James, Willy Gnonto, Brendan Aaronson, whatever, win the headers or the second balls, we are lost. We also have to play to our strengths. Of course, we go way more direct than we have done last season. But it always depends a bit on how the game is going. So when, for example, away at Brighton, they go in lead 2-0 and they opt not to press us anymore and they try to be compact, it doesn't make sense anyhow to put a long ball into their setup and then whatever guys like Dunk anyhow win each every header, and also for second balls they are better because we don't have on the wings guys who win the headers anyhow. So of course we have to adapt our style, and we have also to adapt our style once we play top sides like Man City. But when I judge, for example, how Leverkusen was, they didn't have more possession than City, but they had their spells. They had more than 40%. They were also able to bypass them through the center with diagonal switches and brought the ball forward and brought themselves into a situation where they should score. If we just put the ball long and lose it always after 8 seconds anyhow, this is not how we have a chance. We need a good balance between being confident on the ball, direct when it's possible and when it's promising. But if you just put the ball long or on the stand and just are there with time wasting and just have 20% possession, then you will crack under this pressure. So we need as many periods as possible when we also can keep the ball. And of course, we will also go direct and go for a quick counter attack. And also, we have also different type of striker during this season. This is why we need a striker up front who can hold the ball and gives us time to move up to be there for second balls. This is part of the plan for a newly promoted side. This is what we have to do, and we have to do it way more, exactly like you said. But if it's the only solution, if it's your only plan, just to go direct, and then I think we won't be good enough to stay in this league. So we need a good balance.
Thanks.
Hi, Danny. Excuse me.
No problem.
We spoke before about your good relationship with Adam and Robbie. Despite recent results, do you get the feeling that you're all still on the same page and you're on the same path and from what you want to see for this team?
Yes.
Fair enough. You're very honest in your assessment about the situation and your players, and when you talk about not having the individual quality to win games, how do you sort of balance that with being very honest with your players, but also making sure that they don't lose confidence?
Listen, these boys are not stupid. They know once we face sides like Man City, like Arsenal, and I would tell the public we have the better individual quality. Believe me, no one in my meeting in my dressing room believes it. And it's also important that we make sure that we are aware. I fully trust and back my players, and they know they got my trust and my backing. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to be in many games, I would say, just from the objective data, the better side. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to win already 3 games. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to have such a spirited performance against Aston Villa. If my players would be scared and think I don't believe in them, then it's not like we press Villa high. We are there in counter-pressing. We go and press Tottenham, press Newcastle, and have overall in the last 14 months just 2 losses at home, and play always so proactive. I doubt if it will always be possible in away games like Man City, for example, but the players know how confident I am about them. But it's also important that they got the message, listen, we just can't rest on our individual quality and cheat a bit in the work against the ball and cheat in shifting, and the offensive players are just concentrated on scoring goal or producing a backheel kick or no look pass or something magic. We need to work our socks off. We need to stick together and put shift in. This is what we need to do. And if we then add the quality up front, it's also like what we're allowed to do. And my players also have the freedom to go into 1-against-1 duels and lose the ball, and also to play no look pass and backheel passes and score fantastic team goals. We've done this also, but it's also important to remind them, without hard work, without the basics, without that we are fully prepared from our tactical approach and execute it in the perfect way. These are the skills where we have to be better than the other teams. Then we bring us in situations that we have more chances. For example, in comparison to Villa or Newcastle or whatever. And then it's still up about, okay, then also like we have to take the chances and have to show the effectiveness. But the basic is always hard work.
Hi, Daniel. Okay. In the summer, you obviously sat down with Robbie, with Alex, with Adam. You would have looked at the transfer market and you would have assessed who you wanted to bring in and why. And you would have decided before bringing those players in, what is going to be the best way we maximise these players' ability? How are we going to play to stay in the league? How are we going to use the players we want to bring in to their best? Do you think you're still following that plan and maximising what was agreed in the summer with your tactical blueprint for the season ahead?
Yes, 100%, because this is the way you are successful. It's more or less like you prepare for the way you want to play. You have a clear idea. You work on it. You fill it with quality in your work. Coach, manager, coaching staff, players. And you stick to it and you execute it. And then it's also like when there is a period, and again, over a course of 38 game days, there's always a period where there is perhaps sometimes 1, 2, 3 poor performances, or also you lose as a promoted side 3 or 4 in a row. So it's just what happens. Then it's not like a flag in the wind, oh, we have to change right now everything, we have to do it in a different way. We have our standards, we have our principles, we have what we want to see. We just can afford to have top fit players on the pitch who invest a lot. We just need players on the pitch who stick to our structure, and not like, okay, before each of a game, last game was not possible, then we change to a different formation, and then a different formation, and then a different formation, and become like a flag in the wind. I had this example, so it's more or less once I started, my players had, within a short period of time, 4 different coaches with 4 different approaches, 4 different styles. It's difficult for the players then to know, okay, what do you really want to do? It's important that you stick to your believing, stick to what you're working. Of course, adapt in details and improve always what is not working, and adapt also to some necessities and whatever, but not like you lose the confidence. It's important to stay calm, stay cool, and work to your beliefs. Yes.
Have ownership given you any kind of indication of what they feel they would like to see points-wise over the next few games to reassure them that everything is still moving in the right direction?
Who has given it to me?
The ownership.
No. Thank you.
Matt?
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Yeah, the stats you mentioned earlier about the 6 games that you think Leeds were the better side, does that highlight the trick that was missed in the summer with regards to strengthening offensive areas? And has each game's gone on to highlight that problem, that the chances created and goals not scored? Does that put pressure on Leeds and the owners to rectify that problem in January?
No, first of all, I have not said that I think we were the better side. I spoke about that. If you just judge objective data, it's not like my personal meaning or players' meaning or supporters' meaning or whatever, just judge it in terms of what has happened. We were then in this games the better side. Sadly, the outcome out of these 6 games were, 2 draws and 4 losses. Normally, we should have had way more points about this. We have dominated many of these games. And yes, once we speak about we need more individual quality, what do you mean with this? And it means like effectiveness, of course. It's more like effectiveness in scoring goals, like, with all respect, Rodgers did in the last game, unlucky for us, and then to be there in the final moment also with a perfect tackle or whatever. So I spoke during the summer very open and honest about what we want to do and need to do in order to be competitive, and open and transparent about it. And I've said since the transfer window has closed, you won't hear one complaint from my side about anything about a player who's here, or perhaps even a player that we missed to sign or whatever, because right now I work with the group that I have, and I'm just concentrated to get the best out of the players that I have. And there is not one negative to comment, or not one feeling sorry about we missed to sign this player or that player or whatever, or we need to do this in January. We speak when January is there, what we have to do then. Yes, of course, but not at the moment. My full focus is just on this team and not like about anything else. And with this team, we were able in the beginning of the season also to have clean sheets. We were able to concede less goals. We were able to win football games. We were able to score many goals. And this is where I want to return to. Yes, of course, I would have preferred to have also for the upcoming games Anton and Sean available, because they were also a crucial part also in the beginning of the season. But with this group of players, we are capable to deliver performances that give us a chance to have a tight game and then also to win points and win a game. This is what we want to do, and I don't focus on anything else what we can do in January.
We're going to move on to the embargo section if we can turn cameras off, please.